What is good, everybody? Welcome to episode 22 of the Yinzhers podcast, aka the Depressed Steelers Fangirl podcast. I'm your host, Morgan Urtso, here with my co-hosts Samantha James and Jordan DeFigio. Are we in the Twilight Zone? Did we just relive the Bengals all over again and their colors changed? Like, how are we feeling?
Terrible. Like, I'm not even gonna try to find like a cute way to say it. I just feel so terrible. It was legitimately like a carbon copy of the Bengals game, but against a better team. It was an embarrassment.
It was hard to watch.
This morning, was getting ready to study some film. Our friend Hunter, friend of the show, said, maybe consider stabbing your eyes with rusty spoons instead. And to be quite honest with you, that was the better option. Like, that's what I should have done. I wouldn't be here tonight with you guys, but like,
at least you would never have to watch anything that horrific ever again.
It would have been more enjoyable. Here's the thing. Like, we are entering, for a lot of Steelers fans, younger Steelers fans in particular, myself not so much, and I'm sure you guys remember some of the tough times. Younger Steelers fans, like, I just threw my shoe across the room. I don't know how else to tell you to get ready. It's going to get rough. Bleak. It's going to be a cold winter in Pittsburgh. But let's jump right into the game recap, and we can discuss, how frigid this effing winter is about to be. So let's talk about the good, because as we all know, there was not much of it. Yeah. What did you guys like? What that you saw yesterday out of everything that was, just so worth talking about? What did you like?
Najee got his first rushing touchdown.
You could.
Yeah. No, we're just like
one of the two things.
We're grasping at straws here. Like, but Najee got his first rushing touchdown, and overall he's just so strong. Like, if we can get a supporting cast around him, he's going to be really good. He is a
bright light. I agree. Mm-hmm. I think that he is something that is a breath of fresh air in a room of decaying bodies.
Yeah, a morgue. He's an infant zombies, like a fresh newborn baby.
The apocalypse
Sam, what were you going to say?
Here.
I actually thought that Arthur Mullet looked really good yesterday. Like, there was a couple plays that I saw him. One, it seemed like I don't know if it was honestly just good timing or not, but he seemed to like disrupt one of Davante Adams' routes. And then another one that I saw, he had a good tackle too. And I was like, okay, like, I wasn't completely disappointed. That was a bright spot.
How would you guys say the defense did containing Davante Adams?
Davante Adams was there was real blown coverage in the secondary a couple times. But overall, I felt like, and we'll get to this in the bad because that obviously there's more of it, but like, I felt like they were more decimated on the ground than they were in the air. Like, not that Aaron Rodgers had a bad game, but I was very surprised by the ease with which the Packers moved the ball with Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. That was, not unexpected.
Right. I totally agree. And while I think that our defense is not the players who came back from missing last week, while I feel like they may not be at 100% right now, looking at TJ specifically right now, not that he did anything terrible. It's just he wasn't TJ. We really are feeling the loss of Tyson right now. With that run, with the struggles against the run, we are really feeling how crucial he is to this defense, to this team. Yeah. So sucks to see. What about the O-line? Did you like anything you saw on the O-line?
It wasn't as bad as last week.
Yeah. They were only moderately bad. Worse? It could have been worse. Yes.
Could it have been worse than last week? Like, was that possible?
Yeah. No.
Because is this really a good thing, or was it just inevitable?
Yeah, I think they hit their floor, and we've seen them at their absolute biggest shit show. So I think that it was only it was only a matter of time before they inevitably sucked less. And I'm trying to be very purposeful with the adjectives I'm using because they still weren't good. They just weren't as bad.
They were less ass trash than last week.
Exactly. Yes.
They were.
That's the scale we're using.
They were not assless trash, but somewhere between. Like
all those ass trash shirts that we have in the Yinzhers shop, I never thought we would need one to say the Steelers are ass trash, but we do.
The line is ass trash. You know, all of it, all of the above. Everyone but Najee is ass trash.
Yeah, which is just heartbreaking.
It is. It is. Let's move right on while we're talking about ass trash, our signature slogan. The bad. Let's talk first about the elephant in the room, our favorite elephant of all the elephants. Ben.
What was up with him? And it wasn't just his body physically. I was saying it all game. He looks mentally lost. He looks so disoriented every time he gets on the field.
He's not reading the defenses. It's so bizarre to me. And okay, let's talk about, before we talk about Ben, his deficiencies yesterday, let's talk about Charlie Batch today, because Charlie came out and said the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, Matt Canada have taken away Ben's ability to call audibles at the line of scrimmage. We saw evidence of this, direct evidence of this, because there was the play where Juju tried to extend, where there was absolutely no way he was going to get the first down. He was 5 yards back.
Oh my God.
But that angel man tried to extend and get the first down. The Green Bay was very clearly showing signs of zone defense, very clearly. The CBs were lined up at the sideline, dead giveaway zone. We run a play that is only successful in man coverage. Ben sees these CBs line up. He sees where the defenders are lined up, how the scheme looks, and he is able at that time, normally, to call an audible and say, hey, this play that Canada wants us running right now ain't gonna fly with what I'm reading with this defense. And he didn't do that. And listen, Ben's 37. He's not mentally inept.
Right.
I think Charlie is exactly right. And Ben has been somewhat handcuffed in his ability to call audibles and change the play at the line of scrimmage. What do you guys think?
I mean, I wouldn't dispute that, because looking at some of the plays, I mean, he visibly looks frustrated. The receivers look frustrated. I mean, you can't throw a ball to a receiver and expect him to break that many tackles. It's just not possible. They're all frustrated watching it, and it's got to be a very uncomfortable situation for all of them to be in.
I just don't know how you rectify it, because what we're seeing now, and I'm going to take a philosophical approach and like a 30,000 foot view. Ben has grown tremendously as a person since he got drafted by the team. He is so different now than he was then. And I think that he really has become way more humble and grounded. And I think that makes him a really good leader in a lot of ways. And the kind of antithesis to who Aaron Rodgers is, where he just kind of, if he doesn't like something, he's very vocal about it and makes it known and is kind of a diva. However, I feel like in this instance with the fresh offensive coordinator, this disconnect between what the offense is capable of and the way that they're running plays. Like, Ben could probably stand to take on a little bit more of a diva mentality because he knows what he has such a good understanding of the game. And if that is the case where he's being handcuffed, so obviously Tomlin isn't speaking up. Canada's not doing anything. Like, Ben needs to take the reins and be like, no, stop it. This is
turn the headset
offense.
Off.
It's my offense. Yeah, just
Matt Canada is up in the box. Turn the headset off. If this is actually what's happening, right? And Ben is told, you may not call audibles at the line. First of all, is he actually, like, if that's the case, and Ben looks at a defense and he's able, maybe we're overestimating him, because if he's able to see, hey, they're clearly in zone. This play we're about to run is not going to work. We're not going to make this. And this is a must. Like, we have to get this first down right here. It's do or die. Is Ben really saying, well, oops, I'm not allowed?
Yeah.
Like, oh, shit, I'm not allowed. Like,
that seems a little bit extreme.
So, like, while I understand and can see Charlie's point, and say, yeah, maybe. Like, and maybe Ben's just trying not to piss anyone off, be a team player, because everyone likes to say Ben's not a team guy.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Maybe it's a combination of the two. Maybe he's trying to expose Matt Canada. I don't know. What I do know is, as far as when it comes to understanding this game, he's one of the oldest in it. He's been doing it for the longest out of almost anyone. You would think that he could look at that defense and read it a little better than he is. But he's missing guys wide open. He's missing reads. Freiermuth yesterday.
That one makes me sick.
Wide open down the seam. Yeah. Didn't even see him.
Completely looking this way.
Right. And so, I mean, I saw the dumbest tweet ever yesterday, which was somebody saying, I can only follow on Gamecast, but is Ben purposely throwing these games? Like, no, dipshit. He's not. Dumb. But I almost, like, what else makes sense? I'm not saying he is. I don't think he is, but, like, it feels like that almost.
But when there's a disconnect, it's like, what other explanation is there?
Exactly. Ugh. Like, we're trying to make sense of this, and cerebrally, it does not. It does not compute. I can't.
None of it makes sense. It's just really, really frustrating to watch, especially after last week. Like, I was expecting some adjustments, and while the O-line did not look as bad, there was, which again is the floor now just so low that we think they look good or better.
And how frustrating was it for them to come out and score first thing? Oh my God. I was like, fine, here we go. Like, this is it. This is how our team comes together. It's going to be so poetic and beautiful, and just shit the bed after that. Atrocious. And for Matt Canada to come out before this game and say, we're not changing anything, we're just gonna keep doing us.
How arrogant, how totally out of touch and stupid is that?
Exactly.
And then he did it.
What's the point?
Then he did
it. Benefit?
And then he did it.
Guys, at least he's a man of his word. At least he's a man of his word.
I tweeted that, and I was like, that's the only thing Matt Canada has going for him now is he didn't lie to us.
Yeah, he's honest.
That's it. That's all you got, Matt.
I am going to say, yes, there is a lot of blame to go around again. Yes, there is. Less so on the offensive line this week, maybe marginally. More so on Ben, maybe marginally. 2 big throws to Juju. He overthrew Juju on that. Should have been a touchdown pass. And Juju took the entire blame, carried that on his shoulders, and is suffering today because of it. Like, that man will take all of the blame for everything because that's the kind of player and teammate that he is.
Yeah.
But realistically, any of us who watched that game and aren't haters of a specific wide receiver know that that was on Ben.
And even put another wide receiver. Say it was Deontay Johnson. No wide receiver is going to come out and say, oh, it's Ben. Because you know what? The media is going to say, oh, look, another Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, it's a diva mentality. That's exactly what it's going to come back to. And Juju's smart for taking the high road and saying, you know what, it's all on me and I have to do better. Yeah. And that is what it is.
I mean, seeing him on the sideline throwing the iPad was like gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
Because, he would, that's upsetting. It's an upsetting play, and he knows how Pittsburgh media is and how that's going to get spun and how it did get spun, because we all saw on Twitter how many people wanted to say AB would have made that catch. AB would have laid out for it.
Or the video that they quote tweeted saying that him saying, oh, it's all Ben's fault, or it's whatever. You guys know which video I'm talking about, trying to lip sync
They were trying to read his lips. Yeah. It's a Ben problem is what they thought he said.
That's what it was. Yeah.
You can it's like, it's bad lip reading, right? Like, you could make him have said anything.
Right.
Your mom's a hoe. Oh, Juju said your mom's a hoe on the sideline.
Your mom sucks.
But now, at least now people can't say that he doesn't care, because he very obviously does care. I'm shocked
that anyone has ever said that about him. He shows that he cares. Like, he's an emotional player. It is what it is. Like, we know Juju gives a shit. So I'm not worried about that. But
I would say more than
you don't stay for less money unless you give a shit. You just don't.
I just hope he isn't regretting staying for less money.
I know, that makes me nervous.
I'm sorry, but he's got to be. Wouldn't you be? Because the only thing that the first 4 games of this season have done, the only thing they've done is drive down his market value.
Because he's not seeing the ball.
Right. It is the only thing that's done. He's not when he is getting looks, they're being overthrown. They're being underthrown.
It's the same thing. I had this thought today with Pat Freiermuth. It's like, I think he's a phenomenal player and he's great, but 11 targets in 4 games, what are we doing?
That's unacceptable.
He's a 2nd round draft pick.
And every single time he has gotten the ball, he has been rock solid.
Right.
Like, this is a guy we're looking at comparatively to another tight end on our team, and we're saying, okay, we can count on you. Like, we can rely on you. Ben has been vocal. Let's get him the ball. Okay, Ben, then when he's wide open down the seam, get him the effing ball.
Yeah.
Like, there's just a gross misuse of personnel on offense from top to bottom. Yes. And you also have to wonder, if Ben's not calling audibles at the line of scrimmage and we have the wrong personnel on the field, then how much of this actually is Matt Canada? More so than anything else we want it to be. More so than the line, more so than, our offensive weapons, more so than Ben. How much of it actually is Matt Canada not putting the right personnel on the field, not making the right play calls with the personnel we have on the field? And how much of it is Mike Tomlin for not being more persistent and overriding it? Yeah. That's our next question. How culpable at this point, at 1-3, is Mike Tomlin?
I mean, it starts from the top.
Yeah.
I mean, and people are going to go, Tomlin's never had a losing season, and that's true. And it doesn't have to be here or there. Mike Tomlin has been a great coach. But at this point, when your team is 1-3 and you're choosing to do the same things over and over and over again, what are we doing?
Right. And you're letting your offensive coordinator go out and say, yeah, we've looked like ass trash the last 2 games, but we're just going to keep doing it.
We're not going to change
Someone
anything.
needs to, if you ask me, someone needs to check Matt Canada. The failure that Mike Tomlin has made so far this season is not doing so.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
No.
And it's
it's
just unacceptable to look at the performance that's being put out there by everybody each week and say we have faith in our guys. Like, okay, great, but you shouldn't. They're not giving you any reason to have faith in them because they are sucking. They aren't playing well. So at least acknowledge it and say, like, something, anything that would indicate we know that changes need to be made.
Also,
like, kick everybody to the curb.
Yeah, and don't feed us, oh, we put all the right guys around Ben. This is his last year. We're all in. Okay.
Garbage.
It certainly doesn't look like that. Ben looks frustrated as hell. And if this does fall to what Charlie Batch is saying and he's not allowed to steer from anything, then what I'm going to say the F word very soon, but
that's okay. I already have. It's already an X-rated episode.
Like, what are we doing?
Here's the thing. Mike Tomlin is not one to come out and say anything that will give anything away. But it makes you wonder when he says, we have faith in our guys. We are going to keep doing the same thing. We're on the right trajectory. Trust the process. Whatever. It makes you wonder, do you really have faith in your guys? Or is this a job security thing? And you're saying it's there. We have faith because we know the players they can be because we put them there. They're not executing.
Yeah. Could be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying Mike Tomlin's on the hot seat. He's not. This is the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's not on the hot seat.
He's not going anywhere.
Unfortunately, Matt Canada isn't either. And I'm not sure that I want Matt Canada in regardless of who the quarterback is. Because if you are unable to adapt to your specific quarterback because you specialize in a certain offense, then you have no business being the offensive coordinator of a team that has a quarterback that you can't adapt to.
Right. Yeah.
Like you are the offensive coordinator of Ben Roethlisberger's team. It is not the other way around. Ben Roethlisberger is not your quarterback. It's the other way around.
Yeah, you came into this show late, buddy.
Like, exactly. Like
you
knew what you were getting
proven
into.
NFL track record. So throw that out there too. Because, you know, we only hire within the organization.
I did not want him to get this job.
It
just seemed like
you're riling her up again. Pep Hamilton was right there.
It's so hard to talk about this. I knew yesterday, I was like, please don't make me do this. Please don't make me relive this game.
Right. Okay. So let's move on to another thing that was so terrible yesterday, but not really our fault. That offsides call on Joe Hayden swung the entire momentum of the game.
Yep.
Negated a big play from Minka. So how do we feel about that? I got suspended from Twitter once for telling NFL officiating to go play in traffic. I stand by that statement.
Yeah, fuck NFL officiating.
There it is.
They should be fined. They should be reviewed and fined like players are. If that's
why are they not? Like, is there no repercussion for their
No.
I think somebody said yesterday that they're like graded before they go into the season and maybe throughout, and that has something to do with if they're like eligible for the next season. But I mean, I've seen some pretty horrible play calling and the refs still on the field the following season. So I'm not really sure how bad you have to be at your job.
There's no accountability whatsoever. And granted, like I'm not going to make the argument that lost the Steelers the game, because if you can't recover from that kind of a momentum shift, then you know, that just happens regardless. However, it did shift the course of the game, and the fact that like you can review basically anything else. Like why in the world, when it's that clear cut, and then you have Gene up in New York reviewing it and saying to all of us watching on television, that's not offsides, then there should be some way to retract it and walk back on it. And
especially because when you're looking at a play like that, it really did affect the outcome of the game. It really did. It's like the PI on Joe Hayden in the Saints game affected the outcome of the game of the season. So like, let's not act like these officials making these game-changing calls should be getting off scot-free and, oh, it is what it is. You have to be able to make up for the deficiencies at the referee position. Like, no. You are a referee at the highest level, just like these players are NFL players. They are playing elite. They are the elite of the elite at what they do. So are you. So be better. Be better at your job or bye. I don't understand.
I think,
oh my God. Yeah.
There should be repercussions. Okay. You make a horrible play call, you're suspended for a game without pay, like players are, or you're fined. And then guess what? You're probably going to make less horrible play calls.
Yeah. Yeah. And let's tack a number. Let's tack a number on like, okay, however much, like every call, like if you call someone offsides and they weren't offsides, that's a $30,000 fine or however much, I don't know. Refs make a good amount of money. They could make a chunk of change. And so whatever, tack a number on every single, on PIs, on false starts, illegal formations, all of it.
Roughing the passer.
Taunting. And let's just see holding. Let's see how many of these calls they think twice about before throwing that stupid yellow flag. Let's do that, NFL. Let's get on that. Because if we're going to find the players, if we're going to suspend the players, let's do the same for the other side. Let's level the playing field a little bit. All right.
100%.
Sack streak began again, guys. Only 75 more games to go.
Woo, let's go. Yay.
At least we locked TJ down for a considerable amount of that time. So I don't know, guys. It was another embarrassing loss on the road. There's not much more we can say. Is there any hope of recovering this season? Can we be redeemed?
If the tone of the press conferences was different than it currently is, if there was any level of concern or even just like a little smidge of panic, like just a smattering of it, now, it doesn't have to be a ton, I would be more inclined to say just yes.
Smattering. Just salt base some concern on the
just a little bit. Yep, some jimmies on top. I don't see that though. And that is what makes me feel like they really, they're not just saying that to say it. They believe that this team can be good with the trajectory that they're currently on. And I don't think they're going to make any changes. I don't think they're going to try to do anything.
I would have so much more faith in the remainder of the season. All Mike Tomlin would have to do would be come out on Tuesday and be like, we're making some changes. Something's changing. Something's got to change.
Yeah.
Do a Tomlinism. The definition of insanity. I don't have to tell you. Next. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, come up with something that we can all put on a t-shirt that's going to like mark the turning point of this season. But tell me something. Tell me change is coming. Like,
give us hope.
I feel like I'm campaigning for Obama.
Oh my gosh.
Change.
That's the hardest part, is because last week's press conference clearly translated to this week's game. So I don't know what to expect at this point anymore. And it's very frustrating.
To see such little adjustment is the reason I'm going to say no. I don't think that this season gets much better than this. I see so much potential in a lot of aspects of this team. I do. I think that we are very strong at some positions. Unfortunately, the complementary positions that help those positions to be strong are weak. Mm-hmm. We can't have a good receiving game, running game, passing game without a great offensive line or a good offensive line or a decent offensive line.
Average. I would take average at this point.
We don't have any of those. So, like, of course the offense is stagnant. Of course, when the personnel on the field is not matching the plays that need to happen, the play calling, the calls, like nothing, it's a mismatch. It's a big, fat Matt Canada mismatch.
My God. It's like, it's like trying to put like dog turds on ice cream and calling it a hot fudge sundae. Like,
this is the second episode in a row we've mentioned turds. So,
turd streak. Watch it.
Oh my God.
2 episodes. Oh my God. If this season continues on this trajectory, we'll be
mentioning turds a whole lot.
We will have a new streak going for sure. We'll set a record. I promise. All right, let's look forward to next week. I mean, do we want to look forward to it?
No,
do we want to just
I don't. I want it to be our bye week.
Sleep through it.
I just want it to be over.
Yeah. End the season now. 1-3. Call it.
All right, next week we are at home against Denver. Denver's pretty good this year, guys.
Yeah, they are. F it all. Of course they are. Jerry Jeudy is so good.
You look at Denver and you look at like even their special teams, like Deontay Spencer.
Yeah.
And we let him go. Why?
I'm gonna say the one that got away. Wasn't it Ryan Switzer?
It was for Ryan Switzer. So
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
that was worth it. At least we got rid of him.
Yeah, so I'm a little worried about Denver. I'm not going to lie to you, but there's not one single team in this entire league, guys, that I'm not worried about right now.
Yeah,
Jacksonville could come in.
I was
the
just going to say
that.
Yeah. Well, the Jets beat the Titans, so
that was the worst game, and it took so long. I just wanted it to end.
Yeah. the mantra for yesterday.
Make it stop.
Make it stop.
Guys, new slogan. Yinzhers, make it
stop.
We're putting that on a t-shirt.
Put it on a shirt. Guys, we'll put it on a shirt. It'll be in the store tomorrow. Check it out. All right, let's wrap this thing up before we get to delirious, depressed.
Yeah.
Guys, the commercials are right. Depression hurts. Thank you so much, Steeler Nation, for joining us. As always, it has been real. It's been real interesting. Thoughts and prayers from us to you.
And please give your thoughts and prayers to us as well. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Yinzhers and on Instagram at Yinzhers Official.
Don't forget to subscribe so we can kick it with you every Tuesday. We'll see you next week for another episode of Yinzhers.